You guys always miss me getting down every time we play the song. I'm like, ooh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Me too.
Know who you can hide. Hi, Holly.
Hi, Holly.
Ooh, you beat out Miguel. Miguel. He is slacking. Oh my God. So much to discuss tonight.
Yeah, we got a few topics.
Monday, we ended up not being able to go live because of what's that?
I didn't say anything. There's like a 3-second lag here between us. Sorry.
Yeah, Monday we had to reschedule to today because of tech issues. And then last night I did my show with Josh, the Capitalist Death Parade. So check that out if you didn't see it. So I try to do different topics and everything than I do with Josh, because that way if you watch Monday and Tuesday, you're not like, oh, she already talked about this.
Yeah.
Typically, there's a lot to talk about. So, we'll get started. Matt, what do we have first?
So, apparently, Ukrainian officials have been pocketing half of the U.S. aid money, and they're laundering some of it back to Democrats. These former Polish official reveals in this article in Natural News. A former Polish top official recently disclosed that up to 50% of the monetary aid package awarded by the U.S. to Ukraine is being pocketed and stolen by corrupt Ukrainian officials. He also revealed that the money laundering scheme also benefited the Democrats, who were pushing for continued financial and military assistance to Kyiv. Wow.
I mean, honestly, is this surprising? Absolutely not. But let's break down what happens for Israel. We give Israel money. AIPAC gives it back to us. That's fucking money laundering. I mean, we get back at least part of what we give them. That's just making it legal to give us money in a different way, because we're not going to say we need money for fucking ammo or something, because we have, it's us who has it. So that's a way for us to get money back directly to the politicians. But of course, part of that money is going to be what we send them, because we're sending them money because they say they have none.
Right. Some other stuff in the article. He's further explained that U.S. aid programs were crafted as a mechanism to, quote, write off large sums of money that finance shady systems under the Democratic Party's control, end quote.
And you gotta love how they call it aid. This shit's not aid. What the fuck are you talking about? Aid. Okay, dude. Yeah, it's aid. Aiding the fucking corruption, aiding a fucking genocide. That's aid.
Right. It says in September, they said that 175 billion had been given to Ukraine since February 2022. However, only 106 billion went directly to of Volodymyr Zelensky's regime. He exposed that 30% to 50% of the aid, regardless of the nature, was being safely placed in the pockets of corrupt officials. Now, is it U.S. officials at all, or just Ukrainian? I'm trying to see here. Who's getting this money?
Oh no, it's U.S. U.S. is getting it.
It's just coming back through the arms companies. Like,
Right, exactly.
gotcha. Money laundering.
Yep.
Holly says
Literally.
laundering aid. I'm shocked.
I
And
know. I mean, this is kind of, I almost fell off my fucking chair, but
so surprised. And she also says 10% for the big guy.
10% for what?
For the big guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally. Yeah, this is
So great.
but what's going to be done about it? Nothing. It's like the more shit we find out, the more pissed we get, but the more frustrated we get because we know damn well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever want to just turn your brain off for a day?
It'd be great.
Like, I don't want to know everything I know for just 24 fucking hours. Let me be a let's go to brunch for 24 hours. Please, anybody, put me in a spell. Do something. Actually, hypnosis kind of scares me, so let's not do that. Then I'll never come out of it. Or they'll be like, Joy, you will become a shit lib. And when you wake up, you are going to love Hillary Clinton. And people will be like, yo, girl, you're taking this sarcasm way too far.
I don't think it would work on you.
I don't either. What else do we have?
Speaking of money going where it shouldn't go, MSNBC makes the eye-opening admission about the $500,000 Kamala Harris gave to host Al Sharpton's nonprofit. I know you mentioned this yesterday in your show, but yep, people got to see this.
I mean, giving someone $500,000 before they interview you, I mean, come on, it could just be something generous. I mean, doesn't mean you're like trying to make them feel obligated to give you softball questions or anything like that.
Right. It's more money laundering, man.
Essentially.
What it is.
Pay to play. You give me, I will give your charity $500,000. Look, I wonder why she's still 20 million in debt. She gives 10 million to Beyoncé, who didn't even fucking sing. She came out for like 5 fucking minutes. She gives 5 million to Megan Thee Stallion, who just goes body for like 3 minutes, and it was like crickets. Like, and she gives $500,000 to fucking Al Sharpton, who, like, why? Who the fuck cares?
It is weird, isn't it?
It is. Like, how is he relevant?
Was he paid to lie? Paid to like her? Paid to say the right thing? Basically what it is, right?
Well, I mean, he definitely is a shit lib. So, I mean, this is what's confusing to me, though. Why did she have to give him that money, He's on MSNBC. All they do is fucking lick her boots. Why do you have to pay him? Was he maybe not going to be nice enough? Was he maybe going to ask questions that could be taken a different way? Ooh, I don't know.
Yep, it could be. We don't know.
Squirrely dude.
I'm surprised that we know this much about it.
I said that too, because I was like, I can't believe they're even acknowledging that, like, this is okay. Like, yeah we did this. I'm really surprised. because I will never forget when like Donna Brachel gave Hillary the fucking questions to the debate, and she's no, I didn't, no, I didn't, and then she finally admitted she did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why, as a president, if you want to be a president, why are you scared about doing an interview? You should be able to go on anyone's show, because whether people voted for you or not, you are supposed to represent all of them. So she storms off interviews because she doesn't like the question she's being asked. She pays ahead to make sure she's getting certain questions asked. Like, it'd be funny. I mean, this is conjecture. I don't know if this is true, but what if it was like something where she's like, I will give your charity $500,000 if you promise not to ask me anything about Gaza.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could
definitely.
very well be.
Speaking of Harris, so apparently the Harris campaign aides are saying that the internal polling never had her ahead of Trump. This is from HuffPost.
So, I mean, you knew she was going to lose. So whose fucking fault is that?
She wasn't trying to win.
I really don't think so. If she was, she failed miserably.
Yep.
If she really wanted to win, she would have said, okay, I'll do an arms embargo. That's all she had to do. I still wouldn't have voted for her stank ass, but some people would have.
It would have been something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was more obvious than normal that she wasn't trying to win. And what does that tell you about this whole thing?
What's your interpretation as, she wasn't trying to win? Why do you say that?
She wasn't offering anything to anyone, and she didn't do interviews, and I don't know.
Do you think it's part of it could have been also that there's hubris to the point where, we're seeing Hillary again, where it's like, I don't have to do debates. I don't have to do interviews because I have the votes. Or do you think she really just didn't care?
No. If you want my honest opinion on elections and all that, it's like 3 levels deep of charades and theater, and both wings belong to the same bird type thinking.
It is really interesting how it seems to go Dem, Republican, Dem, Republican, Dem, Republican. You know what I mean? Yep. It seems to happen, I think, except for Obama doing 2 terms, for several presidents, it's gone back that way. It's kind of interesting.
It is. Holly says Kamala's website was only a request for donations. I remember that.
Until the night before the debate. Literally the night before the debate. And on the fucking on the like the FAQs, it was literally just a list of things to do if you had errors trying to order a t-shirt.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's all it was.
Wow.
Like, yep. Okay. But the thing is, shitlibs they don't fucking care what she stands for, so she didn't have to put anything there.
That's right. She's on blue team, so who cares?
When you say vote blue no matter who, you are literally telling them they don't have to do shit. You can literally be the biggest piece of trash and you are still going to get my vote. So I don't care what you stand for. I mean, we've shown some of those videos where they're like, who are you voting for? And they're like, Kamala. And they're like, why? And they're like, well, she's, yeah. I like what she stands for. And what's that? She's like, I don't know how to say it. She's like, when like, well, she's like,
She's got integrity, Joy. She's got poise, and
He's got a vagina.
that too.
That's why we want her.
That helps. Yeah.
First woman president. Hey, I'd love a woman president, but I'd want them to actually set a good precedent for women. Because
Yep.
we can have a woman president, but if they're trash like her or Hillary, what kind of,
That's no good.
precedent does that fucking set?
The bad one.
Very, very. What do we have next?
I think we have a new topic.
Yes.
All right. So this one, I'm just going to play it.
I'm Israeli Jewish, American as well. My partner is Palestinian, and I can do things that he can't do. I can travel quite freely, and even though his mother is a refugee from what is now Israel, he can't pass areas that are off limits to Palestinians. I have excellent rights. I have health. There are cities in Israel being built for Jews only, and also in the West Bank, settlements being built for Israeli Jews only, while Palestinians are hemmed in, unable to build cities, and their homes are being demolished for lack of permits that are almost impossible to get. The Israeli authorities are engaging in forcible transfer, where they remove Palestinian communities in the West Bank to make room for settlements. All of these are part of the root causes of the violence. There's terrible abuses going on. You just have to listen to what people on the ground are telling you and adjust accordingly.
So that was Sari Bashi from Human Rights Watch. Yeah.
Imagine that, being Israeli, married to a Palestinian, and watching this. I can't even fathom. I just can't.
That's some like Romeo and Juliet shit.
Right? It's very like Montague and Capulet. Like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And props to her, man, for speaking out, because from many of the Jewish people who are speaking out say how they have been indoctrinated their whole life to believe Israel is the place. Israel is the superior people are there, and the God's chosen people and things like that. So she very well may have been one of those people who was indoctrinated. We're hearing that more and more.
I mean, American Christians are indoctrinated in much the same way by their Bible.
And actually, I have a clip coming up on that. It could be the next one. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, here's the next one I have. The hypocrisy of democracy. Maybe that's not the one you're thinking of.
But that's okay.
Okay.
So the ICC, the ICJ, the UN Commission Report, the Human Rights Watch, the UN Special Report on Food, the UN Special Report on Palestine territories, Oxfam, WHO, WFP, Doctors Without Borders, UN High Commissioner, all say that we need to save children and that we should believe what the ICJ has ruled in terms of America and in terms of Israel doing a whole bunch of that G-side. The world say we believe it. Israel and America say we don't believe it. As a matter of fact, I think about this a lot. That when the ICJ and the ICC was coming after Putin for all the shit that he was doing, I don't remember nobody out west really trying to trivialize the legitimacy of the international courts. But as soon as America or one of its allies, specifically Israel, started doing some shit, then all of a sudden we got to question the jurisdiction of the ICC, huh? To me, it's just like, it's the hypocrisy of democracy, man. And I'm no longer buying into the idea that this country right here is the only democracy in the Middle East when it's doing a whole bunch of undemocratic shit, huh? Mm-hmm. Education is elevation. You stop pissing on my hand telling me it's raining. Yeah. Stop pissing on my hand telling me it's water. Smell pissy.
Yeah, I mean, like, first of all, the idea that Israel is a democracy, people say that all the time because it's a talking point and they don't even know. Like, literally, one of the reasons this is happening is because Netanyahu was up for re-election like a year ago. And they're not going to re-vote while all this shit is going on.
Yeah.
Even Biden himself has said the reason this is still going on is because Bibi does not want an election. Even Biden himself has fucking said that.
He says the quiet part out loud like Trump does sometimes.
Yeah, it's like the part of his functioning brain that's like this.
He's like,
is
oh, I
like-
remember something. Oh, he doesn't remember that he's not supposed to say it to us. But
Yeah, it just
that's
kind of
okay.
leaks out. Yeah, so it's like, what is democratic about Israel? Not a fucking thing. What's democratic about over 1 million Israelis marching in Tel Aviv
Yeah.
for weeks saying ceasefire now? Now, I always like to say the disclaimer, I am well aware it's not because they want to help Palestine. I am aware. But as if there's a ceasefire, I don't give a fuck why. The fact of the matter is they're out there by the millions in Tel Aviv nonstop. And we care so much about Israelis, right? But we won't listen to them. What about the hostages, the Israeli hostages whose family members say, please just end this. Even the ones who are not still alive, their family members are saying, please end this, please. We don't care about these hostages. What the fuck? We don't give a shit about them. Are you kidding me? Israel doesn't give a fuck. They could have had them back October 8th. They don't fucking care.
The
They
hostages
do not
are
fucking care.
the
What's
hostages
that?
the hostages are probably depicted as like chess pieces or something on some whiteboard in Israel, right? They have a whiteboard. This is on purpose. How they're treating these people.
And you know what? I've thought about this several times, and I think I brought it up a few months ago on a show. But, you know, I think about this. Like, let's say, just like, because we all do the whataboutism all the time in our heads about this shit. Let's say that Hamas was like, okay, cool, like, here's the hostages, and it was even one short. That's it. Like, now it's harder than ever because there's one short. You said you gave us everyone. It's not. Now it's going to be times 10.
Right.
Because, and they will do anything. Well, this one came with scratches on her leg. Nope. We're going even more hardcore.
Deals off.
Yeah. It's just like literally like
shady shit.
Anything will be used as, okay, we got the hostages back, but it's not going to end. Anyone who seriously thinks this shit would end is fucking nuts. Is literally fucking living in some utopian, like, fucking place where I want whatever they're taking, pretty much. What do we have next? Unless do you see? Oh, this is the gentleman. Yeah.
Yeah, the Christian Zionism.
As a Palestinian Christian, I have many problems with Christian Zionists. This is an ideology that completely ignored me and ignored my people, and to a certain degree even dismissed us and dehumanized us. Speaking about an empty land or Palestine as a land without a people, this is an ideology that completely ignored our presence and even dismissed that presence. Many times they would tell us, go to Jordan. Many times they would say, there is no such a thing as a Palestinian. Other times they will even say, we are an obstacle to the second coming of Christ. And in that process, they have ignored our rights. And maybe one of my biggest problems with Christian Zionism is that it is devoid of justice. What about the current military occupation of our land? What about the many injustices and the discriminative laws of the state of Israel towards Palestinians? It's a state that says that the right for self-determination is exclusive to the Jewish people only. How can you as a Christian support that? What about the rights of refugees to return, or about land when you confiscate land from Palestinian families, sometimes Palestinian Christian families, to build a Jewish settlement on that land? How can you be as a Christian okay with that action? This is an ideology that has many times ignored justice and even dismissed our rights as people who have been living here for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Is God really a God who divides people based on their race, or who decided 4,000 years ago that this particular people have an exclusive right to this land and they have an eternal possession and a divine right to a certain land, and this is how we solve the conflict? This is not what I read in scripture about Jesus Christ, about the Christ who loves all people equally, about even the church in which there is no Jew or Gentile, and about the God of grace and mercy.
Hell yeah.
Yep, he kicks ass. And I wish that Christians would actually read on how Israelis feel about Christians, because they fucking hate them.
I know.
They hate them. Like, you can just go to YouTube. You see them literally going up to people wearing crosses and spitting on it. Like, they literally tried to pass a law. I'm not sure if it was still in effect, but even just going to Israel, anywhere on the land, and doing any kind of proselytizing, like even just saying, Jesus saves, God bless you, anything, you're arrested. You are not allowed to even talk about Christianity. They fucking hate them. But yet they stick up for them. Christians, these Christian Zionists, they like, well, I forget what that one, it was like Christians for Israel or something. I forget what their name is, but they give even more money than AIPAC does. AIPAC's actually second. There's a Christian Zionist organization who gives more money to politicians, and they're like, they're Christians, and they say, because Israeli Jews are the chosen people, and we're like, you're not. So
how much
what?
How much of a cuck do you have to be
to
say like, I'm not chosen
I'm
personally.
not chosen, okay? Like, so I'm just gonna like bow down to those of you who are.
I'm just gonna sit in a chair in the corner, and it's gross, man. Hi, Wendy. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the stream. All right. Oh, breaking. Biden has announced a ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon.
This was last night, but for context,
We gotta cover it.
Today, I have some good news to report from the Middle East. I just spoke with the Prime Minister of Israel and Lebanon. I'm pleased to announce that their governments have accepted the United States proposal to end the devastating conflict between Israel and Hezbollah. I want to thank President Macron of France for his partnership in reaching this moment. For nearly 14 months, a deadly conflict raged across the border that separates Israel and Lebanon. Lasting security for the people of Israel and Lebanon cannot be achieved only on the battlefield. And that's why I directed my team to work with the governments of Israel and Lebanon to forge a ceasefire, to bring the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah to a close. Under the deal reached today, effective at 4 a.m. tomorrow local time, the fighting across the Lebanese-Israeli border will end. Today.
Okay, so a few things.
Yeah.
Number one, how many drugs is he on? He didn't even say, who he spoke with of Lebanon.
It's because he didn't actually speak with anyone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
and
thinking.
he's like, He's like, President Marone. Who the fuck is that? Like, I think you're missing a C, dude. But okay, whatever. But anyway, you've been working around the clock for a ceasefire in Gaza for 13 months and can't do that. But this one, and so as most of you, I mean, I know like 99% of people who watch my channel are Free Palestine and Free Lebanon. But so, 2 hours after this was announced, oh my God, Israel was bombing the fuck out of Lebanon. Do you believe that? Do you believe that?
Yeah.
It's almost like they did something like that when they had like a 3-day ceasefire in Gaza.
I remember.
It's almost like that happened there. So this is what, Vote Blue, no matter who people like thrive on. They're like, Biden got a ceasefire. First of all, it's only for 60 days. They left that part out.
He didn't mention that at all, did he?
Isn't that weird? It's kind of crazy. So it is conditional. There are some things, but also all shit libs are going to hear is, oh my God, Biden got a ceasefire. Well, they're also not going to pay attention to the fact that when these people say anything about a ceasefire, what that means, like Netanyahu will never even talk about a ceasefire with Gaza. He's saying it about Lebanon for 2 reasons. Number one, he looks like the good guy when he continues to provoke the Lebanese people, and then they retaliate. Oh, they're the ones that broke the ceasefire, when we all know it wasn't. Also, Gaza has they have no military. They're not scared of them. They overpower them. Gaza doesn't even have food. They're not scared of them. Lebanon, October 8th, they're like, you really are going to go at Palestine? You might not want to do that because they may not have the power, but we do. And they step the fuck up. And I mean, yeah. So this was obvious from the second he said it. I'm like, oh, watch. Israel's going to do more shit under the radar, because they always say it's starting at or starting tomorrow or something like that. Always, always, always. Why doesn't it start immediately? Oh, gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because Israel's going to fucking provoke. And then it's going to be like, oh, Lebanese broke the fucking ceasefire. Now we're going in 10 times harder.
I wonder what the text of the agreement is. I wonder if that's online somewhere. I'd like to read it. Like, is the ceasefire?
I've only found it in Arabic. I'm sure it's out there, but I've only found it in Arabic. But yeah, for real. I think I have. There's something else I put. I can't see what that is.
That was the Lebanese army on their way to the south.
Oh, yeah. I did not laugh. Fuck you. If you would have told me a year ago, I was so anti-imperialist of any, I was like a pacifist. I was like, no military, never, for any reason, ever, ever, ever. And now I have reactions like that. Because I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fuck Israel. So.
For sure.
If it isn't the consequences of my own actions. Oh, well.
You shared this with me. It's in another language, so let me translate real quick. The moment a rocket launched by Hezbollah hit a building in Israel, Israeli media now report that 3 Israelis were injured, one of them seriously. Only 3.
Looks like a Capitol building, right?
It does. Yeah, but it didn't quite hit the building. Maybe it did. I don't know.
I don't think it did. It looks like it's on the side, kind of.
Yeah.
It definitely looks like something for rich people, whatever the fuck it is. It's definitely not for the Poe.
Yeah.
Fireworks.
So, this tweet, Hezbollah fighters leave handwritten notes for homeowners whose homes they used. And here's some of them. I'll read the text. 1. To the family of this house, we ask for your forgiveness. We used your house to eat and sleep in. Signed, the men of God. I'm not sure about that part, but that's the other. It sounds good to me. Number 2, our dear people, please forgive us for entering your home and taking 4 cigarettes that were there, as well as some washing detergent. Also forgive us for staying inside your home for a while, but without touching or messing anything. We pray you will return safely to your home once victory is achieved. Signed, Islamic Resistance Mujahideen Hezbollah. 3. Forgive us. We took some stuff from your home and slept in it. Signed, Hezbollah. And the last one. Peace be upon you and victory from Allah and his blessings. Please forgive us for using your home, your water, and kitchen utensils and needs. To clear our debt, we have placed a small amount to seek your forgiveness in the hope that you will return to your home with your heads held high. Signed, the men of God. So that's how you do it, man.
That's like so incredible to me. Because all they want is justice. Like, these houses were empty because they've been told to flee, not by Hezbollah, but by Israel. So these were empty. They were just sitting there empty. They could have gone in there, done whatever the fuck they want. They never would have found out who it was. But they're like, they felt like they needed contrition. They're like, we apologize. I took 4 cigarettes. Like, what? Like, that, it's like, calling people in Hezbollah moral would really upset a lot of people, but you're looking at people like Israel and how they are doing like things that are even unspeakable. And then you're looking at people like this who didn't do anything fucking wrong. I mean, what, you took a few cigarettes? You slept in their house? But they still are apologizing. And, I was watching a compilation yesterday. What's that saying?
Wendy says, wow, beautiful. Holly says, wonderful. I agree.
Right?
Warms my
I
heart.
was watching a compilation yesterday, and not to like glorify anything that's happening or anything, but you look at it, was comparing footage to prisoners who have been held hostage in Israel, who have been essayed, who have been beaten, who have permanent tremors, who have brain damage, who have been, just the most unspeakable shit, who now have medical issues and trauma issues. And then you see footage of people being released by Hamas who are giving them hugs and thanking them for the treatment they gave them. I'm not trying to glorify. What's that?
I typically hate to boil things down to like good and evil, black and white kind of stuff, but it kind of does seem that way.
I mean, like, I just think it's very interesting that the people who are being called terrorists are the ones who were actually defending themselves and do not want to hurt innocent people. But the ones who are blatantly like, yeah, burn this shit to the ground, I don't fucking care, as long as it's not our people, I don't give a shit, they are not terrorists to others.
Yep.
We know they are.
Yes.
It's bananas. What
Well,
else do we have?
speaking of Israel, just in, U.S. President Joe Biden approves, let me count the zeros here, $680 million in arms sale to Israel.
It's only millions, you guys. It's
Only millions.
usually billions. It's a step back. Can we just props where props are due? All right.
This other one says the United States goes ahead with a $680 million arms sale to the Israeli regime, despite that the weapons are being used to continue its genocide. Yep. President Joe Biden is moving forward with this amid growing concerns about American weapons being used against civilians in the Gaza Strip. This package includes thousands of Joint Direct Attack Munition Kits, JDAM, and hundreds of small diameter bombs. Great.
Yeah.
The package has been in the works for several months, has previously not been reported. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So basically, we're going to do a ceasefire in Lebanon. I mean, they're not, but that's what they say. And hours later, we're giving them $680 million in ammo to, well, it's not for Lebanon, right? Because you just said it was for a ceasefire hours ago. So I wonder who they're going to use it on.
I wonder.
It's kind of crazy. I have no idea.
Kind of crazy that they need so much money to remove these people who have no military or anything. Why do they need so much money to do that?
You know, it's almost like it's a big old fucking circle jerk when they see people suffering. It's almost like, who's got the biggest balls of them all? It's that song, you know? It's like we have the most manpower. What's that say?
Holly says he'll always be genocide Joe.
Always.
Even to the last. Yep.
Oh my God. This is so fucking gross. I think, like, out of everything that's gone on and the thousands of videos and photos and stories we've heard from people on the ground, I find one of the toughest things to reckon with the fact that our government, as in those of us in the United States that aren't so united, but our government is stating that there is someone that is doing international war crimes that has been agreed upon by countless UN, ICC, ICJ, and the list goes on. Doctors Without Borders. These are places we've always heard are like the good guys from them. That they are literally willing to give these places sanctions to protect someone who is literally committing genocide. And not just that we're going to fight tooth and nail to protect this absolute piece of shit. We are also going to keep sending them money and arms.
Right.
I'm like, it's astounding. It is fucking astounding. I've never been so fucking disgusted with my country.
Biden has spent a record of at least $17.9 billion on military aid to Israel since October 2023. Wow. How much good could that do here in East Palestine or any number of places? Makes me want to.
Priorities, Matt. Priorities, okay?
Well, okay.
Priorities.
I'm going to puke.
I know. Like, you know my thing, right? I think I've told you my thing. My thing is, if you barf on someone, you can't get arrested because it's not physical assault. So my idea is that if I ever come into contact with Biden or Kamala, I will barf on them. And then
Good.
I can't get in trouble. And then I'll accidentally have an issue with my cane.
Right.
Not that I've thought about this shit. No, look,
Clearly
look,
not.
I'm off the top of my head.
Colin, with a comment, he says, "Not our government. Most people don't vote for either party, and both are owned by corporations." Yeah,
Yep.
I don't think anybody, any voting citizen, should feel any blame for anything that's going on. We don't have representation right now. I don't know when that stopped. I don't know if we ever did. You know, I haven't been around forever, but we don't have
Yeah,
representation.
people are like, call your representative. I don't have a fucking representative. What the fuck? I'm my own representative. What?
Exactly. Exactly.
What
All
do
right.
we have next?
Oh, it's more of the same. Biden administration plans 680 million arms sale.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a summary of what we went over.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. Over the coming days, this is from President Biden. He says the United States will make another push with Turkey, Egypt, Qatar, Israel, and others to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza with the hostages released and an end to the war without Hamas in power.
Okay, so when was this tweet?
This is from today, 7 a.m.
Correct. And what else happened today?
The ceasefire.
680 million.
Oh, yeah, right.
Same fucking day.
So that's the plan.
That's the plan.
Those countries are going to team up with us and drive out the natives. That's the. And this sounds like something that will extend into the Trump administration, right? This is not going to happen.
Yes. Yes. I mean, and he's going to be the boogeyman, even though there wouldn't be a continuation if these motherfuckers didn't start it to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, and speaking of Trump's war cabinet, here's a video clip.
All of those pagers, maybe one of the most brilliant military operations I've heard of.
Yeah, Sean, the Israelis know how to send a message, don't they? And pun intended there. But this was a masterful covert operation. The Israelis intercepting the supply chain, getting those distributed, and then being able to set them off simultaneously. And I also want to be clear on one thing, Jillian. Jake Sullivan and I have had discussions. We've met. For our adversaries out there that think this is a time of opportunity, that they can play one administration off the other, they're wrong. And we are hand in glove. We are one team with the United States in this transition.
All of
Really? Well, I'll tell you one thing. Biden and Trump look like BFFs last week. Like they look straight up like he's like, I'll make sure it's a smooth transition. Like that's what she said, first of all, but also like seriously, I hate you.
I know,
Go
right?
fuck yourself.
Holly says cringe. I'm cringing.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing with the blowing up the pagers, that's literally terrorism.
What a way to send a message. Pun intended. You're so fucking witty, you twat waffle. Fucking douche canoe. Piece of poop.
Speaking of pieces of poop.
Oh. I need a special name for this cuck. Like a special. We need to. Okay, you guys, put your suggestions in the fucking comment. We need real nicknames for these fucking psychopaths. Like for him, I kind of want to he looks like a caricature to me. I don't know what it is. I know I'm mostly blind, so he
Yeah, he
probably
does.
doesn't look like I think he looks.
He has weird facial structure. He looks like a character from the board game Guess Who. Remember that?
Ah! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! That was my favorite growing up. Oh my god! Oh my
Yeah.
god! What was the guy's name? Roger. That's who he looks like. Roger.
Yeah.
His name is Roger. Roger Dodger. That's his name.
Let's see what he has to say about this.
We don't agree. And as we've said before, we don't find the ICC's finding to be relevant or appropriate in this case. We don't find him to be a war criminal. He's an ally and a partner and a friend.
Well, namely intentionally causing death, starvation, great suffering, and serious injury to body or health of the civilian population are criminal.
Is that a question? Because if it is, I've already answered it. We don't consider him a war criminal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kareem.
Thank you.
Wow.
Wow.
So even when given the examples, is that a question?
All these people are the same, man. They don't. All they do is deflect. Deflect and minimize and gaslight you.
Yeah, I mean,
Second
all
nature.
these people's job is just to fucking sit there and be the bully for the president. Like,
It's literally, yeah, his job is to put on a suit and get in front of the camera and say whatever it takes to keep this train going because we're making money and business is good.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's gross. All right, next up. I don't know what this is. It says the toilet paper embassy.
Sir, I'm looking for an interview. May I ask you a couple questions about Palestine? How does the word Palestine make you feel, sir? Sir, may I please ask a couple questions? He's stepping on my shoes, sir. Is he allowed? Police! This guy's stepping on my shoes. The Israeli security is stepping on my shoes. Don't worry, I'm just here to be a, what do you call it, journalism. Why does he keep hitting me, bro? Israeli man, why do you keep hitting me? Israel doesn't exist. The place is called Palestine. Israel doesn't exist. Palestine. Sir,
I don't even know why I sent this to you. It was a mistake. I watched it and I must have clicked send. I actually, if I'm going to be 100% transparent, I find this guy extremely annoying because he provokes people and makes fun of them, and it's not constructive. It's not. Like, he'll just go up to people and ask if they're for Palestine. Cool, nothing wrong with that, but it'll be like he'll get up in their face and make fun of them and stuff, and it's just it's
not helping. Yeah.
So I was just watching. I don't even know why I sent you that. It must have been a mistake. But anyway, this young lady I absolutely love, and I did mean to say, I know I've showed her videos many times.
This is disgusting. This is a school-sponsored field trip to Sderat's observatory towers, looking out over Gaza. And the field trip was so that the children could watch the genocide play out as it unfolds. This comes, by the way, 24 hours after a massive massacre in Beit Lahia, where 74 people, including children, were killed. And according to the man who took these pictures, who is just as horrified as I am, as soon as they got out of the vehicle that transported them, they started flipping Gaza the bird. They're encouraged to put money into the binoculars so they can watch to see if any bombs fall while they're there. And apparently the children left very disappointed when none did. So when they tell you that Palestinians are taught to hate Jewish people as early as age 2, I want you to remember this. Every accusation is a confession. They think this is entertainment. They think this is fun. And it is ingrained in their school systems, approved by their government. Oh, and the worst part, the observation deck was built in part with American money.
Gross.
It's so gross. And I do want to give a shout out to Matthew Ho.
Yeah.
He's a dear friend of mine. He's been on the show many times. He's just a lovely person, and he is I believe he's still there now. He was actually there trying to kind of see what was going on between like that space between Israel and Palestine. And honestly, obviously horrified. I'm not sure if he's back yet, but I adore you and love you, Matthew. You are amazing and you're a wonderful comrade. So thank you so fucking much for what you're doing.
Yes. I think this is the last news thingy we have. Francesca calls out Piers Morgan.
Oh, yeah, Francesca.
If rape occurred, it should have been investigated, prosecuted, and the responsible people
But the
should be
UN
held to
says
justice.
it did happen.
No, the point is, no,
You
the
work at the UN.
said, no, the UN, the UN is there are political appointees and then human rights appointees, and the Commission of Inquiry concluded that there was in June that there was no evidence to support the claims of gang rape. But let's assume, I don't want to say anything that I've not investigated. So let's assume that rape occurred. So does it justify what Israel has done? What the reason why?
I'm curious why, as a woman who works at the United Nations, why you would even want to have a specter of doubt about it. I've read so many
because of the beheaded babies, because of the claim of beheaded babies. How many journalists, sorry, Piers, including yourself, have amplified this news and used this argument of the beheaded babies?
What do you think I said?
Well, you have
What do you think I said?
You have asked the people, do you condemn Hamas? And you have mentioned the beheaded babies.
What do you think I said?
What do you mean what I think you said?
Quote back to me what you think I said about babies.
Beheaded babies.
Yeah.
Did you say that or not?
All I've seen ever since.
Did you say that or not?
I'm about to answer you. All I've seen ever since is that I apparently said that up to 40 babies have been beheaded. I never said that. I choked up earlier reading this new revelation about 40 babies being killed.
Oh my God.
And some of them being beheaded. And I was like, how can any human being do that to a baby?
I don't know. I
completely
You said no. Look, you have referred to, I don't know if 40, you have referred to the beheaded babies or to the babies.
I talked about babies being killed, people being beheaded, which they were, because you know how we know that? Because Hamas broadcast it on their GoPro cameras.
So this is the part of the video where I easily could include the countless videos of Israeli soldiers filming themselves, although not on GoPro cameras, committing countless war crimes day in, day out for the past year. But I won't, because a quick search on X will unearth them all for you.
Look, I'm not going to justify or to condone any crimes that were committed on October 7th. My question is, what purpose does it serve? Because the only animus I had when I tweeted what you just read is, let's try to diffuse the tension, because this language, this evocation of the barbarism of the Palestinians represented an existential threat. What about the rape that is documented against hundreds of Palestinians in Israeli jails? Can we talk about that?
Here's the thing.
Because we have evidence of this.
Fine. Here's what I would say to you.
Of course, when Francesca brings up the systematic rape of Palestinians by Israeli soldiers and police, which, by the way, has been going on for decades, Piers doesn't want to talk about it. But you know who did talk about it? Josh Paul, the former State Department official who resigned over the Biden administration's complicity in genocide.
I think at the same time we condemn those atrocities, we have to condemn the atrocities that happen every day to Palestinians in the West Bank. You mentioned sexual violence. I was part of the human rights vetting process for arms going to Israel, and a charity called Defense of Children International Palestine drew our attention at the State Department to the sexual assault, actually the rape of a 13-year-old boy that occurred in an Israeli prison in Mosque Bia in Jerusalem. We examined these allegations. We believe they were credible. We put them to the government of Israel. And you know what happened the next day? The IDF went into the DCIP offices and removed all their computers and declared them a terrorist entity. I think it is vital that atrocities not happen to anyone, not sexual atrocities, not sexual violations, not any kind of gross violation of human rights. We are looking at a situation where there is so much dehumanification, where people are not seen for the value that they have. And I think that's true whether you're talking about those who are attacked on their kibbutz or those who are attacked in their homes in Gaza or in the West Bank. What we really need is to center the human beings who are at the core and who are suffering so much in this conflict.
I actually resent anybody who tries to downplay or mitigate the barbarism of what Hamas did that day, because it was utterly barbaric. It was medieval in its barbarism. And the reason we know that, beyond any doubt, is they were proudly broadcasting it to the world.
Pierce, I find utterly horrific any crime against any civilian body or collective. I do not distinguish people because of the color of the skin, because of their ethnicity, religion. This doesn't matter to me. For me, the life of civilians is sacred. And this is why I'm so horrified by years and years I've spent documenting and reporting on the violations of Palestinians. And I'm someone who has produced scholarship on Palestinian forced displacement. So 76 years and even more since British colonialism in Palestine. For 100 years, these people have been tormented. So two wrongs don't make a right. This is the only thing I can say.
What's that say?
It says, the most unspeakable of so many disgusting Hamas atrocities now confirmed. So that's a tweet from Piers Morgan retweeting the CNN article about babies and toddlers were found decapitated. So he's spreading that misinformation there. Awesome. Kami John's in the chat. He says the Israel-Palestine conflict is about as morally complex as Star Wars. You know who the oppressors and the oppressed are, and if you support Israel, you should stop oxygen intake immediately.
Absolutely. Good to see you, comrade. It's been a minute. I thought I had something in there about Bernie, his proposal that was just voted on.
I don't think so.
Okay, so basically breakdown. Bernie proposed the other day to do an arms embargo, right, to Israel. It's the second time he's done that. Now, don't get me started on Bernie, but this was the first time any senator in history of our country has questioned any aid or weapons going to Israel. So this is a very big deal. Now, what happened? It was voted down immediately by many Democrats. So no, it didn't pass. And guess what? That's why fuckface Biden is out here giving $680 million 2 days later. Any single person who voted against Bernie's bill is a fucking terrorist. They are a terrorist. Like, we're just going to have to call it like it is. You give money to terrorists, you are a fucking terrorist. Like,
by proxy. Yep, you are a terrorist.
It's that fucking simple. So seriously, look up if your senators are, are how they voted. If they voted, against it, call them, tell them to take a spoon and eat your ass. It gets their attention way more than, hi, I'm doing a petition. Like, no. Tell them to eat a bag of dicks. And then just say, thank you, have a good day. You could be really polite about it. Hi, my name is Joy. I'm calling about the bill that he just voted on. It was Bernie Sanders' bill. My response, I just want to tell him to eat a bag of dicks. Okay, thank you. Have a great day.
I love that.
Bye.
Yep. Sneak it in there at the end.
And I think I have a funny
You
that's
do.
not really funny, but I mean,
The text is cut off at the bottom, but it says Happy 4th of July.
that's
I
all I
heard.
can find that was funny as far as, Thanksgiving. Because all I post is about colonialism and how, Native
It's bad.
Americans understand what's going on in Palestine right now.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, this is going to be interesting. Oh my God, people at the dinner tables. It's going to be a fucking riot, like a hilarious riot and like a fist, like a pew, pew, pew riot with people. I voted for Trump. I voted for Kamala. You're the and then I voted for Jill Stein. So I fucking voted for Trump, obviously, because
yeah, it's your fault.
that's who I'm gonna be with. You voted for Jill, so obviously you voted for Trump, which is why everything bad is happening. Joy. That's who I will be enjoying. So yeah, but for real, just when you're with family and stuff, just think about everything going on. Think about, indigenous peoples. Think about I always slip in, like when we do a toast, like Happy Thanksgiving and stuff. I don't say Happy Thanksgiving, and I'm just like, cheers to the indigenous people, and I throw that in. And you know what else? I was looking at my memories on Facebook, and it's 8 years since Standing Rock. 8 fucking years since people were at DAPL being hosed down with ice cold water because they were trying to protect their land and their water. And I will never forget those motherfuckers in that, industrialized, like they were going to fucking Iraq. These are like people in a prayer circle and they're going in and busting them up. And they had the audacity to sit there and have a huge long table for Thanksgiving dinner. I will never fucking forget that. As the indigenous peoples were standing in the fucking water. I will never fucking forget that. I have pictures that were coming up on my memories. I'm just like, the irony and the gall. If you guys want to also do something on Indigenous Peoples Day, earlier this month, I had 3 guests who are friends of Leonard Peltier. Incredible people, incredible show. All 3 of them, it was Leonard's spiritual advisor who goes to visit him in prison. It was an advocate of his. It was his personal assistant. It was one of my favorite shows I've ever done, especially such an honor that they came on in Indigenous Peoples Day. But my favorite thing about that show was that they read a quote that Leonard Peltier said about Palestine that was written decades ago. And he stated, I'm paraphrasing, that if he were out of prison, he would be in the streets fighting for Palestine.
Yes.
And he sure as fuck would. And that's why he's a fucking revolutionary. So yeah, it was amazing. Definitely check out that show. I loved it. It was an honor. But yeah, everyone, travel safe, try to have fun. And you know what? I think I'm going to do a fucking, what do you call it on Twitter? A spaces, maybe
Twitter
in a few days to just like have people call in and see how their Thanksgiving was. Like, did you guys talk about politics? Because I don't know.
Yeah. Did you flip any tables this year?
Yeah, like I saw this one guy online. It turned into a meme. It wasn't a meme, but it turned into one. He said, everything was fine at Thanksgiving until I said that Fall Out Boy was the Beatles of my generation. And then all shit went crazy. And I'm like, yo, the fact that you were saying that, like you are admitting you said that, seriously, go fuck yourself. Like, I feel bad for your parents. Dude, awful. But thank you guys so much for watching. It looks like, yeah, so everybody watching has to click like and subscribe. I have some awesome shows coming up. So definitely tune in for that. Definitely subscribe to my TikTok too. I do some short videos on there. I don't do on here. And you can also, go to the comments and watch, Zionists just completely try to rip me to shreds. It's really fucking funny. It's, I enjoy it, actually. Because it's always like, you have blue fucking hair. And I'm like, oh my God. No
Really?
way. That's such an amazing argument to what I'm saying about genocide. Oh my God. But yeah. So thanks guys again for watching. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you, Matt, for joining and for helping with the what do you call it? Like the what do you call it? The like
I don't know.
Logistics.
Tommy John says Matt is double awesome.
Yeah, he is. Matt's a good dude.
And you're awesome too, Joy. And also
Aw.
Tommy John is drunk.
He said he's drunk?
Yeah.
Oh no. No wonder why he's tuning in.
That's why he's so chatty in the comments tonight. I love it. Thank you for
I
watching.
love it. Well, giving you big hugs, comrade. Every time I see a commie meme, I'm like, that's Commie John. That's Commie John. I think more and more people are catching on. More and more people are going to the communist side. It's exciting.
It's a shame that that word has been demonized. And
Comrade Kamala. Oh my God. I can't.
I might go puke.
I know.
Right. Let's end
Well,
this.
thanks, guys, so much. Much love to everyone, and I will see you in a few nights.
Adios, everyone.
Adios.